Hey folks, welcome to my channel number 10. So we have the problem on our screen. Limit extending to pi sine 3x by sine 2x, right? We know that, whenever we are being asked to find the limit of extending to a particular number, say x naught, we can rewrite the limit as sine of, we rewrite this as limit h tending to 0 and sine of 3 times pi h divided by sine of 2, we have pi plus h, right? And why am I doing this? Because by the definition of limits, we know that as x tends to x naught, we know that we have a right hand limit. If there is a finite limit that exists, then if x is going to take a value to the right of the limit, x naught plus h, and similarly, if x is going to take a value on the left of x naught, which is x naught minus h, where h is infinitesimally small, then for the limit to exist, both the left hand limit and the right hand limit will have to be finite and equal, right? So in these problems, that's the idea behind replacing x by pi plus h and bringing it to a format where we have been asked to find the limit of an expression in terms of h, where h tending to 0, right? So now I have my sine 3 pi plus 3h, right, in the top. And when I write this out, what do I get? Sine 3 pi cos 3h plus cos 3 pi sine 3h, right? And similarly, I have sine 2 pi cos 2h plus cos 2 pi sine 2h, right? And we know that my sine 3 pi is sine of 3 into 180, which is sine of 540 degrees, right? So let's check that out as to what it is on the calculator. My sine of 540 is 0, and my cos of 540, which is my cos of 3 pi, is minus 1, right? So let's rewrite this expression as limit h tending to 0. My sine 3 pi becomes 0, so this part of the expression takes a 0, and my cos 3 pi is minus 1, right? So I have a minus 1 into sine 3h, right? So I have a minus of sine 3h, right? So I'm going to keep it like that. And then I have a sine 2 pi. And what is my 2 pi? It is 2 into 180 degrees, which is sine of 360 degrees, right? So what is that? Which is again a 0. And what is my cos of 360 degrees? Which is 1, right? So my first part, which is sine 2 pi, becomes 0. And my cos 2 pi is 1. So I have a sine 2h, right? So I'm left with an expression like this, which is nothing but a minus of sine 3h by sine 2h, right? Now we know what do we have to do here. All that I need to do is connect it with the formula sine h by h, sine x by x as x tends to 0, right? So how do we do that? So bring a h out here and let's bracket it. Keep a 2 here, and in order to compensate for that, you make it into h, right? So now we have an answer for one part, which is my sine 3h. And let me rewrite it. When I rewrite this, I get sine 3h. And if I have to find out the limit of the numerator, I will have to bring in a 3 out here, right? And then all that I do is I use the h and I multiply it by a 3 out here. That's what we have in our numerator. And let's write that out. And what do we have in our denominator? We still have our sine 2h by 2h. We have our into 2, and we still have our minus sign, right? So this does not change the earlier expression in any way. All that we have done is multiplied the numerator and divided the numerator by a 3, and multiplied the numerator and the multiplied the sine 2h part in the denominator by a 2 and divided the same by a 2, and added a common factor h, which we are using in the numerator and the denominator for this particular expression, right? So now we have the answer. As h tends to 0, the first part, which is numerator, will become minus 3, and the second part, which is the denominator, will be a 2. So the answer for this is minus 3 by 2. So I hope you got a good understanding of this problem and found this content useful. Please do subscribe to my channel and support. Thank you.